Hello travelers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're exploring Lisbon, one of my favorite cities in Europe, and if you're looking for inspiration for your next getaway, this is the right place. Over the next 3 days, I'll take you on a journey through the best this city has to offer. From historic neighborhoods and breathtaking viewpoints to world-class food and hidden local gems. This is your ultimate 3-day Lisbon itinerary. If you're wondering when the best time to visit Lisbon is, it really depends on what kind of experience you're after. Generally, the sweet spots are spring, March to May, and fall, September to October. During these months, the weather is warm and sunny without being too hot, the crowds are smaller than in peak summer, and prices are a little bit more budget-friendly. You will get to enjoy Lisbon's famous viewpoints, outdoor cafes, and nearby beaches in comfort. Summer, from June to August, is great for festivals and nightlife, but expect higher prices and packed streets. Winter, on the other hand, is mild and quiet, perfect if you prefer a slower pace and want to explore local life without the tourist buzz, but be prepared for some rainy days. When it comes to choosing where to stay in Lisbon, location makes all the difference, and I'm staying at Elevador, right in the heart of the city. This hotel is just off Avenida da Liberdade, one of Lisbon's most elegant and central areas. I love how everything is so close. You can walk to amazing cafes, restaurants and shops, and if you want to explore further, the train station is just a few steps away. The hotel is stylish, comfortable, and perfect for anyone wanting a great location without spending too much. The room is clean, comfy, and have everything you need. Fast Wi-Fi, a TV, a mini fridge, comfortable mattress with super wide linens, and a modern bathroom with a nice walk-in shower. I recommend to start your day from the top of the hill so you can make your way downhill to see the rest of the attractions. From Miradouros da Senhora do Monte, you get the best views of the city, including the São Jorge Castle, the red roof of Alfama, and the 25 de Abril bridge. The name Miradouros da Senhora do Monte means Our Lady of the Hill. This is one of the city's most breathtaking viewpoints and also one of the highest points, with 92 meters above sea level. Also, be sure to arrive early to avoid the crowds and for the best light for your pictures. We're making our way now to Miradouros de Santa Lucia. That's another beautiful viewpoint where you can enjoy amazing views of the city. Miradouros de Santa Lucia overlooks Lisbon's historic Alfama neighborhood. From this peaceful terrace, you can see a patchwork of colorful rooftops, centuries-old churches, and the Tagus River flowing quietly in the distance. The terrace itself is framed by traditional azulejo tiles, flowers, and ivy that have softened with age, and despite the obvious wear and tear, the setting feels calm and inviting, making it an ideal place to pause, take photos, or simply enjoy the atmosphere. As we make our way to the castle, we pass through Alfama neighborhood. Alfama feels the most authentic because it wasn't heavily damaged by the 1755 earthquake that devastated most of the city. We made it to São Jorge Castle, sitting proudly in one of Lisbon's 7 hills and one of the most iconic landmarks in the city. Built in the 11th century by the Moors, it later became a royal residence, and today it offers some of the best views in town. From up here you can see the Tagus River, the red rooftop of Alfama, and even the 25 de Abril bridge in the distance. The castle's history goes back more than 2,000 years, first used by the Romans and later by the Moors, who built most of what you see today. In 1147, Portugal's first king, Alfonso Henriques, conquered the castle and made it his royal palace. As you explore the castle walls and towers, you can imagine how it once protected the city. There are also archaeological remains inside showing traces of Roman and Moorish life, giving a glimpse into how the city grew over the centuries. Today, Castelo de São Jorge is not just a historic site, it's one of the best places to relax and enjoy Lisbon's atmosphere. Peacocks roam the gardens, musicians often play near the walls, and the sunset views are unforgettable. It is the perfect spot to take in the beauty, history, and spirit of Lisbon all at once. We're making our way now downhill to Sé de Lisboa or Lisbon Cathedral. This is the oldest cathedral in the city and one that survived the 1755 earthquake. Sé de Lisboa is a living monument to nearly 9 centuries of history. This cathedral isn't just a place of worship, it's a time capsule of Portugal's architectural history. At the entrance, the Romanesque facade stands firm with its fortress-like towers, round arches, and heavy stone walls, a reminder of Lisbon's medieval roots. Move towards the back and the mood changes. The Gothic cloister and ambulatory from the 13th century bring lighter spaces, pointer arches, and elegant rivet vaults, proof that Lisbon was growing more confident or artistic. In some of the side chapels, you will spot the manual in touch, ornate carvings of ropes, shells, and maritime symbols celebrating Portugal's great age of discoveries in the 1500s. And finally, the Baroque era adds drama and gold. After the 1755 earthquake, the main altar and chapel were rebuilt with lavish decoration shining with energy and emotion. The treasury of Sé de Lisboa offers a quiet and fascinating look into the cathedral's rich history. Inside, you will find a collection of religious artifacts, furniture, and sacred artwork that reflects centuries of devotion and craftsmanship. The space feels intimate and reflective, allowing you to appreciate the details and significance of each item. It is a meaningful stop that adds depth to the visit to Lisbon Cathedral, revealing stories that go beyond what you see from the outside. The Arco da Rua Augusta is a grand triumphal arch built in 1875 to celebrate Lisbon's recovery after the 1755 earthquake. Decorated with statues of Portuguese heroes like Vasco da Gama and the Marquis of Pombal, it marks the entrance to the Praça do Comércio or Commerce Square. We made it to Praça do Comércio, the most famous square in Lisbon, where the locals and tourists mix to enjoy the best views of the Tagus River. At the center of the square stands the impressive statue of King Joseph I, who ruled Portugal during the time of the earthquake and the city's rebuilding. Praça do Comércio was once the site of the royal palace and the main entrance to the city for people arriving by boat. After the big earthquake, the square was rebuilt with beautiful yellow buildings that were used by the government for trade and business. If you love food, this is an absolute must visit. This lively food hall brings together some of Lisbon's best chefs and restaurants all under one roof. Inside, you will find over 40 stalls serving everything from traditional Portuguese dishes to modern fusion plates. I have to be honest, finding a place to sit down and order food wasn't easy, as the area was extremely crowded. We were looking to snag a table at a zoo, where we enjoyed a simple yet incredible lunch. From the freshest oysters to delicious clams and the famous sirloin steak sandwich, every bite was a treat and well worth the wait. Just a short stroll from Mercado da Ribeira on Rua Dom Luís I is one of the newest and more impressive murals in Lisbon. A mix of classical mythology and modern street art, with Chiado's Greek-inspired graffiti-style image of Medusa and Ad Fuel's playful blue tile patterns. Also, a few steps from the mural, you will find the Energias do Portugal building, a brutalist structure that is impossible to miss and that perfectly reflects how Portugal has embraced contemporary design and innovation. A stop at Vida Portuguesa feels like stepping into a carefully curated snapshot of Portugal's everyday history. This beloved Lisbon shop is filled with traditional products, from soaps and ceramics to notebooks, canned goods, and household items, all beautifully packaged and rich in nostalgia. Many of the brands have been around for generations, telling stories of Portuguese craftsmanship and daily life. It is the perfect place to browse, find unique souvenirs, and connect with small details that make Portugal so special. It is time now to take a little break, so we're gonna head back to the hotel. We'll see you for dinner. For dinner, we're headed to Elevador restaurant in the Baixa district. It's part of downtown Lisbon, and I'm looking forward to tasting the food there because the reviews are amazing. So I'll see you there. This place is a space that blends modernity with tradition, serving up Portuguese and Galician flavors in a relaxed, welcoming atmosphere. We begin with rich, flavorful meat croquettes as an amuse-bouche, followed by a fresh and delicate ciba ceviche with grapefruit, radish, and citrus dressing that set the tone for the meal. For the mains, the grilled octopus was perfectly tender and smoky, while the grilled rubia gallega filet mignon was incredibly juicy and full of flavor. We ended on a high note with a warm rocha pear tarte tatin, a comforting and elegant dessert that tied everything together beautifully. After an amazing dinner at Elevador, we're gonna wrap up the day and head back to the hotel. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, another beautiful day in Lisbon. The weather couldn't be better, very sunny today. So we're gonna grab some coffee and head to the Belém district. There is so much to do there and I'm very excited about it. The Belém Tower is one of Lisbon's most iconic landmarks. This tower was built in the early 1500s as part of Portugal's defense system, guarding the entrance to the Tagus River and welcoming explorers returning from the long sea voyages. The tower is a great example of manual architecture, a unique type of Portuguese architecture that developed during the early 1500s, during the reign of King Manuel I, that mixed traditional Gothic features with symbols of the sea, exploration, and nature. Today, Belém Tower is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a popular spot for visitors. From the top, you can see stunning views of the river and the nearby Jerónimos Monastery. We made it to Jerónimos Monastery, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful places in Lisbon. The monastery was built over 500 years ago to celebrate Portugal's age of discovery, when explorers were setting sail to find new land. Inside, the monastery is calm and peaceful, with a big open courtyard surrounded by beautiful arches. The building is covered in incredible details. You'll see carvings of ropes, sea creatures, and royal symbols all over the walls. It is a great example of the unique Manueline style, and honestly, it's even more impressive when you see it in person. It was in this very monastery that the famous pastéis de nata were first created by the resident monks. If you're exploring the Belém area, definitely make time for this spot. It is full of history, beauty, and a perfect vibe for photos or just relaxing for a bit. Located by the Tagus River in the Belém area, this monument looks like a ship ready to launch, with 33 figures of famous explorers, navigators, and other important people from that time, all following Henry the Navigator at the front, as if they're setting sail towards new discoveries. You can take an elevator to the top, where you can get an amazing view of the river, the Belém Tower, and the Jerónimos Monastery nearby. We're headed to the MAT Museum. MAT stands for Museum of Art, Architecture and Technology, and is another place that you cannot miss if you're visiting the Belém district. The museum focuses on art, architecture and technology, with exhibitions that range from contemporary art installations to architectural projects and innovative technology displays. The facade is covered with thousands of shiny tiles that reflects the light like water. The building itself is a work of art. Its curved roof invites visitors to walk on top and enjoy beautiful views of the river and Lisbon's skyline. Inside, visitors can explore both permanent exhibitions, like the electricity factory, and the temporary shows in flexible gallery spaces. All this walk has made me very hungry. So we're headed now for lunch at the restaurant Sebastião in the Hotel da Baixa. The dining room, set under elegant Pombalin-style vault arches, makes for a charming spot whether you're sitting indoors or outside on the terrace. On the menu, you will find a mix of authentic Portuguese flavors with a modern twist. Dishes like the oven-roasted cod and the grilled octopus are my favorites. The service is warm and attentive, making it a great place for a relaxed midday meal after exploring Lisbon's historic downtown. What an amazing lunch we had at Sebastião, and now we're burning all those calories on our way up to the Convento do Carmo. Destroyed in the 1755 earthquake, its roofless ruins are a stark reminder of Lisbon's resilience. The convent now houses the Carmo Archaeological Museum, displaying artifacts from Lisbon's history, including pre- and post-earthquake relics. The empty nave with open sky above creates a surreal and unforgettable atmosphere. Built in 1902, this neo-Gothic iron elevator, designed by a student of Gustave Eiffel, connects the lower streets of Baixa with the higher Largo do Carmo. From the top, you get a breathtaking 360-degree view over Baixa, Rocio, and the Tagus River. It's time for a snack, so we're going to stop by Castro, my favorite pastéis de nata shop. Despite the crowds that line up daily, the experience of enjoying a warm pastéis de nata fresh from the oven paired with a strong espresso is one of Lisbon's most authentic and delightful culinary rituals. Each tart features a crisp, flaky puff pastry shell filled with a creamy velvety custard made from egg yolk, sugar and milk baked to perfection until caramelized on top. Shopping in Baixa is a lively and enjoyable experience, with wide streets lined with elegant buildings and a mix of traditional and modern stores. From souvenir shops and local boutiques to well-known international brands, there is something for every taste. It is time now to take a little break, so we're gonna head back to the hotel. We'll see you for dinner. For dinner, we're headed to Palácio Chiado, an elegant restaurant housed in a beautifully restored palace in the Chiado district. We're having cocktails first at the Bar da Sabina, an intriguing and stylish spot with a lot of charm and energy. According to his own description, there are no reservations, no ceremony, just freedom to explore, try new cocktails, and indulge in something unexpected. We kicked off the night with a Paloma and a Duarte Martini, and from the first sip, we knew we were off to a great start. The dining room is located upstairs, accessible by a grand staircase, and offers a sophisticated setting where historic architecture, fresco ceilings, stained glass, and ornate details meets a modern cosmopolitan spirit. The menu at Palácio Chiado strikes a perfect balance between classic flavors and modern creativity. We began with fresh oysters and octopus croquettes before moving on to a beautifully prepared New Zealand lamb rack. Every dish was exceptional. After this amazing dinner, we're gonna wrap up the day and head back to the hotel. So, see you tomorrow. Good morning, travelers. We're stopping for a quick breakfast at Padaria Portuguesa, a few steps from the hotel, to fuel up and get ready for the day ahead. Beautiful day here in Lisbon today. We are on our way to Almada to visit the Sanctuary of Christ the King. And I've been told that this is where you get to see the most beautiful views of the Tagus River in the city. To reach Almada, we crossed the iconic 25 de Abril Bridge, which closely resembles San Francisco bridges because it was built by the same American company using similar suspension bridge designs. The Sanctuary of Christ the King towers on a hill in Almada, just across the Tagus River from Lisbon. From here, you will enjoy one of the most striking views over the city and the 25 de Abril Bridge. Architecturally, the sanctuary is a blend of thoughtful symbolism and grand design. Built to express gratitude for Portugal's relative peace during World War II, the monument was inaugurated on May 17, 1959, after a national fundraising campaign. The 28-meter statue of Christ stands atop an 82-meter pedestal supported by 4 arches pointing towards 4 cardinal directions, a tribute to Christ's universal embrace. Visitors can ride an elevator up to the terrace at the base of the statue to soak in a 360 degrees panoramic view of Lisbon, the river, and the bridge. Just made it to LX Factory, a cool creator hub that is located in the Alcantara district and is tucked under the 25 de Abril Bridge. Once a rundown industrial complex, it was brought back to life in 2008 and transformed into a lively space filled with design studios, fashion boutiques, quirky shops, cafes, and restaurants. The old factory architecture, exposed brick, metal staircases, and warehouse-style buildings have been kept intact, giving the place a raw, industrial charm that feels both historic and modern. Inside LX Factory, you will find a vibrant cultural scene, street art murals by local artists, live events, and a Sunday market where you can browse handmade craft, vintage items, and gourmet goodies. One of LX Factory's biggest draws is Ler Devagar, a massive bookstore in an old printing factory. The shelves go all the way up, and you can still see part of the printing press. Let's grab a quick lunch because I have some shopping to do before we leave, and I want to buy some authentic Portuguese gifts to take back home. Having lunch at Patio in LX Factory was a real treat. We started with fresh briny oysters that practically melted in our mouth, followed by a vibrant octopus salad with tender, perfectly cooked octopus and crisp flavorful greens. Surrounded by the creative, bustling atmosphere of LX Factory, the meal felt both relaxed and special. A perfect midday pause in the heart of Lisbon's most artistic district. As you wander between Rocio and Commercial Square, the atmosphere feels vibrant and welcoming, making it easy to lose track of time while browsing and soaking in the heart of Lisbon. The fantastic world of Portuguese sardines is one of the most fun and whimsical shops in Lisbon, and it's also the perfect place to pick up a unique worker souvenir to bring back home. Shelves are lined with beautifully designed sardine tins, making it a super fun place to browse and pick out a quirky Portuguese souvenir. Even if you're not big on sardines, the whole experience is worth it for the atmosphere alone. It is time now to take a little break, so we're gonna head back to the hotel. We'll see you for dinner. Stepped into Palácio do Grilo and entered a wall of history, art and magic. This 18th century palace is filled with colorful murals, ornate tiles and themed rooms that feel like something out of a storybook. But the real fun happens when you explore. It's part museum, part restaurant and part live theater. Expect dancers, performances and immersive art popping up as you wander. We started off with braised shiitake with Tobon sauce, followed by the Argentinian filet mignon with creamy potato puree and the grilled sea bass. Everything was amazing. If you're spending a bit more time in Lisbon, make sure to check out our video on Sintra, one of Europe's most charming and magical towns. It is the perfect day trip from Lisbon. Close by, easy to reach, and so stunning that it's guaranteed to become one of the highlights of your entire trip. And that's a wrap on our trip to Lisbon. If you like this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more adventures. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next journey.